Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to a new video. Today is some more shop work. Like I said in the end of the last one, oh man, my coffee's spilling all over. I hate these push-on lids. The heat pushes them up and they break the seal and then they leak all over you. It's very annoying. I'd take a screw-on lid any day. You guys didn't see it the last video. Or between last video and this video, the 4020 got serviced. Put a new lift pump on because it doesn't prime. The old one wouldn't prime, so we got this one on now. And so that one's all good. It also puts fuel in the oil, which Dad said it's done that for a couple years now. So that could fix the issue, changing the lift pump. But we're also talking about changing the injectors, but that'll probably be at a later date. 4960 was done when I talked to you guys before, but I went to start it and I couldn't. And I obviously forgot to put the battery charger on before I left. That's awesome. So I'm gonna put this on jump start instead of trickle like I would have done, and we'll get this thing started up and moved out. We're gonna get the chisel plow in here, and we're gonna get the manure agitator in here so that we can go through both of those. Those will be some of the earlier used pieces that we need this spring. Not exactly how I wanted this in the shop, but I can't make the corner with the tractor hooked on. I was planning on putting a chisel plow over there. So that means I gotta go make some parts runs and do some work to this thing before I can get it over there, which by that point it might not even be worth it then. So we'll probably do all the work on this and then pull it back out. The list is we need a jack. Go get a jack that's got the weldable mount on it with it. And then we need points, which you guys saw in a previous video, but yeah, they are pretty much shot, and the other sides are shot as well. That one's even got a chunk out of it. I've got all the points. Got lucky. The dealer hadn't brought in their new shipment of points yet, but they had enough for us to do our plow. I got the jack and I welded the cylinder on right there. Looks all nice. We got to put the points on, check wheel bearings, and then go through and grease these. From what I remember, these are still good. The blades are shot. Now I know the blades are shot. Nobody's got to tell me. I mean, it's pretty obvious they're pretty small at this point, but the reason why we do not replace the blades is because doing a blade replacement on this chisel plow costs just over $1,000 to put new blades on this. And just quite frankly, it's not worth the money, putting the money into this thing. It is working as it is. We never really chisel plow any high residue scenarios. We are always chisel plowing soybean stubble usually, so we don't run into problems plugging. And in the few higher residue scenarios that we have been in, these blades are still working enough to keep the points from plugging up. So we're gonna leave it as is and just go through, check the bearings, grease the bearings. We have replaced one bearing on this since we bought it, that end one. That wasn't a bad job, but we just are not gonna mess with the blades. We got the chisel plow done. That's parked back out where it was. This is our manure agitator. It's also a Houle. And we're gonna get her ready. The one thing I know that is wrong, and the only reason why I'm fixing it, if we were just gonna use this and park it back out back, I probably wouldn't fix this, at least not right away, because it's not completely necessary. We can use it. And we don't want to put money into this because we're not a dairy anymore. We don't utilize our pit, that sort of thing. But we are planning on selling this as soon as we get done using it. So that hydraulic motor up there is leaking very bad. it won't move the nozzle one direction. That's the rotate one. It moves it side to side, and then you got a cylinder to move it up and down. Well, yeah, that one is puking oil out the top. I'm gonna see if I can just replace a seal. I'm probably gonna end up replacing the whole thing. I don't know if I have one on hand or not. We have a whole pallet of hydraulic motors and pumps and stuff, so we'll see if we have one. If not, no biggie, we'll have to go get one. And then that is the main thing wrong. Other than that, it's just, this thing is tedious to grease. Every single one of those panels down the thing, there's a carrier bearing and I think a U-joint in every single one of those. Those all gotta be greased. Gotta check the oil in the gearbox. A bunch of grease zerks there, which doesn't make sense to me at all because all of these are in manure. So none of them are ever gonna be able to take grease, really. They're all horrible to try and grease. And then, yeah, just looking it over. I'm gonna mess around with this for a little bit. Trying to figure out how to get that top sprocket off. And our whole nozzle assembly anyway is froze up. We can't get it to break loose, so we took the grease zerks off and sprayed PB Blaster down in there. And we're just letting it set. So we'll leave this for later. We gotta go haul some horse manure and we'll be back later this afternoon. So here's where we stand at the moment. I've got tension on it with the skid steer. I've been putting heat on it. I cannot get this nozzle to break loose. If I had never known that that nozzle moved, you honestly wouldn't be able to tell at this point because it is so stuck tight. It's unbelievable. But I don't know what else to do. I mean, there's not much weight to this, so putting the skid steer up against it really doesn't do a whole lot, but it does more than what I could do by hand. And then been putting heat on it, smacking it with a hammer, spraying PB Blaster in any orifice I can, and she just will not give. Oh well. We got 3 inches of snow though. Went out and did some plowing for Dad. It's gonna all melt away tomorrow. It's supposed to be 40, so. Yep. Be cool if we could work with the door shut. Oh well. Everybody check this out. Oh yeah. So, what we did, first of all, we put a 4x6 down underneath. There's little loops in there to keep a little bit more tension on it. Drove the skid steer up on it and then hooked a chain, kept tension, had the rosebud on the torches, and just heated the snot out of it. Slapped it with the hammer. Finally she busted loose. And then turns out there was no set screw whatsoever in that gear. So I heated the snot out of that and the puller took it right off. And then everything's sitting over here. So this had one of them half moon keys. I can't remember what they're called. Whatever, but probably gonna get a whole unit because there's a bushing there and this, and then there's supposed to be a snap ring on top. This one doesn't even have a groove for a snap ring though, so I'm guessing this motor has been replaced before. We'll find out eventually. Lunch is come and gone now. We're moving on to another task here, which is putting a windshield and a roof on our Polaris Ranger. This is a 2004, I think, so it's definitely an older one. I just got done cleaning up along here where I'm assuming that windshield is going to seat, so we can start installing now. I used Super Clean. They've been a channel sponsor before. Just shouting out their product again. Works well, just sprayed it on and then just ran over it with a paper towel. That's what it looks like. This is what you get parking your UTV in the same barn as where your ground corn goes. It ends up pretty dusty, so you might start. Well, the install is done on the windshield, but let me tell you, I hope that once this cleans up, it's a lot clearer than that, because that is not great for seeing through. The top is nice and clear, that filler plate, but the rest of it for some reason is really cloudy. Don't really like that. But I don't know if you could tell when I was putting it on. You have these Velcro things on both sides, and it flips down, so your top section flips over top of this, and then you can strap it down here in case you want to, I don't know, have a bunch of wind blowing in your eyes. It's not really the most, I don't like wind in my eyes, so. Okay, roof is installed. I'm going to show you guys a trick on this windshield. It really is cloudy, and I polished it and everything. Well, check this out. I completely missed the protective film on the inside. Feel really stupid now, but flip it up. Can see through it, no problem. Oh boy. Never learn. I could have swore I peeled all the coating off, but you know, feel better now. I don't have to take it off and send it back. Whatever, you can leave that. Look at that, now it looks good. Dad said we were going to get doors eventually. I don't know if he was serious or not, but we have a windshield and a roof now. Just got back from the GEA Houle dealer, and I got a rebuild kit for this pump. They didn't have a motor. They didn't have one on hand, a replacement. So we are going to take this apart, try and rebuild it. The seals anyway. We got all the seals for it. Got breakdown. Doesn't look that hard. Shouldn't be that bad. Biggest thing is hoping that this is in fact an Eaton motor, and because this is a Eaton seal kit. I got new bushing, gear, snap ring, key. That way I don't have to worry about that stuff not going back together right. I did take this back cover off last night. Reveals the valve. There's a slide gate in here that determines whether the manure goes up and out the nozzle or out this pipe to your load out for your tanker. Didn't always seal quite right. In the last couple years we used it. There's some feed bag and stuff caught in here. We will have to hook a tractor up to it and actuate that down, because right now it is in the upright position. Clean out that stuff, get it to where it seals a little better. But we are going to focus on this motor. I completely forgot to update you guys on this whole situation. So the motor that we had on there, this one, turns out to not be the same brand as what Houle always put on theirs. So we do have a new motor coming because that seal kit didn't match up, and just to make things simple, we're getting a new motor, and that'll be in, I think, in a couple days. And then I just got to put this panel back on the back here. Gonna have to replace a few bolts, but we got most of them yet. And this morning, since I can't work on this, I did pull the Meyer 7200. It's not box spreader, but I don't know what you want to consider this. I went through, there's a bunch of baler twine wrapped around the augers on the inside and stuff like that, so got that stuff all peeled off. There's actually 4 foot of chain, which I think was off one of the gates or something, wrapped around one. And there was also 2 or 3 tire sidewalls. I don't know how those got in there because we haven't used tire sidewalls for anything in years. But somehow they got in there, and they were wrapped up in there too. So got it all out though, and got it all greased up. I'm gonna get it moved out of the way, and then I can go get something to eat for lunch. We brought in a load of limestone this morning. A gravel train brought that in. And then also there's some tree work being done in the area, and we got wood chips stacking up. So that'll be good for my chicken coop, or even this spring when I got to mulch around the house and stuff. We got a pile of free wood chips to use. So that's always the best thing to have, is something that's free. Also just got off the phone with our ag leader dealer. And we got our fertilizer system and everything ordered for the corn planter, so that'll be coming here soon. We're just getting some quotes done on 28, and soon we'll be locking that in as well. I got the hydraulic motor replaced on the lagoon pump, and the lagoon pump was then taken out of the shop. And for some reason my camera was having problems. I think it was the cold weather, so I wasn't able to record anything. But this is now the end of the video. Lagoon pump is done and out. Next video we have a very, very fun project, so hope you guys stay tuned for that. But for now, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.